Picture this. A network executive sits in a conference room staring at a hit show and thinks, you know what would make this better? Taking one character, removing everything that made them interesting, and giving them their own show. Spoiler alert, it never works. Today we're breaking down 5 spin-offs that prove sometimes you should just leave well enough alone. These shows took beloved characters and concepts, stripped away all the magic, and wondered why nobody showed up to watch. Before we jump in, smash that like button and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these nostalgic deep dives. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for number 1. It's the spin-off equivalent of watching someone trip over their own shoelaces in slow motion. Alright, let's dive in. Here at number 5, we've got Tabitha. Proof that you can't recapture magic when you forget to bring the actual magic with you. Lisa Hartman was perfect casting for grown-up Tabitha Stevens. She had the looks, the voice, the charisma. When ABC greenlit this spin-off in 1977, they thought they had a sure thing. What they actually had was a timeline nightmare wrapped in a casting disaster with a side of, wait, what? Let's talk about the original Bewitched for a second. That show ran from 1964 to 1972, and it worked because of the ensemble. Samantha twitching her nose, Darren freaking out about magic, Endora causing chaos, and the nosy neighbors losing their minds every week. The magic was just the hook. The comedy came from the relationships.
The little ones were expandable.
In season 2, Samantha and Darren had a daughter named Tabitha who inherited Mum's powers. Cute kid, fun addition to the show. So ABC's big idea was to bring back Bewitched. Without Samantha, without Darren, without Endora, without literally anyone who made the original show work. Just Tabitha, now mysteriously aged up to her 20s and working at a TV station in Los Angeles. The time jump made zero sense. No explanation, no context. Viewers were just supposed to accept that the toddler from the 60s was now an adult in the 70s because… reasons? It's like if they rebooted Full House but only brought back baby Michelle as a 30-year-old accountant. The setup was painfully simple. Tabitha worked as a production assistant at KXLA, trying to hide her magic powers while navigating normal life. Her boss was Marvin Decker, played by Mel Stewart. You know him as George Jefferson's brother Henry. Good actor? Wrong show. Then there was Paul Thurston, played by Robert Urich as her smarmy talk show host love interest who hit on everything that moved. Good thing Urich redeemed himself a year later playing Dan Tanner on Vegas, because this role did him no favors. And here's where it gets really weird. They completely retconned her brother Adam. In Bewitched, Adam was younger than Tabitha. Now suddenly he's older, mortal, and constantly lecturing her about using magic. They basically turned him into discount Darren, complete with the judgmental attitude and zero sense of fun. Oh, and they invented Aunt Minerva, a character who never existed in the original series.
But I love my job. And worse than that, you have been in Hollywood a full 6 months and he has yet to take you to one really kinky party.
Who'd pop in occasionally to cause magical hijinks. Because nothing says authentic continuation like making up relatives nobody's ever heard of. Behind the scenes was even messier. They shot a pilot in 1976 with a different actress and a completely different premise. ABC passed, so they rewrote it, recast it with Hartman, moved the whole thing to a TV station setting, and tried again. That's when ABC said yes, but let's be honest, they should have stuck with their first instinct. The show tried desperately to cash in on Bewitched nostalgia. They brought back Dr. Bombay for a guest spot. The Kravitzes showed up. The opening credits even used actual baby footage of Tabitha from the original series, but all the cameos in the world couldn't hide the fact that this show had nothing interesting to say. Ratings disappeared faster than someone under a cloaking spell. The show got cancelled after 11 episodes, ranking 81st out of 104 programs that season. Lisa Hartman's theme song, It Could Be Magic, was catchy, but that title turned out to be more wishful thinking than reality.
Some people got it, some people don't. You'll never know until you try.
Tabitha wanted to modernize Bewitched for a new generation, but forgot that nostalgia without substance is just empty calories. If Bewitched was a perfectly crafted spell, Tabitha was someone waving a stick around hoping something would happen. Number 4. The new WKRP in Cincinnati. A spin-off of WKRP in Cincinnati, aka let's bring back a classic without most of the people who made it classic. The original WKRP was lightning in a bottle, a workplace comedy about a struggling radio station filled with lovable weirdos who somehow kept the place running despite themselves. The writing was sharp, the cast had genuine chemistry, and yes, there was that legendary Thanksgiving turkey episode that people still quote today.
Here to witness the big WKRP Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway.
Hey, you got permission to be out here?
What?
You're blocking my store here, buddy.
So, in 1991, 9 years after the original wrapped, someone decided to resurrect it. And look, we get it. Nostalgia is a powerful drug. But this was like trying to reassemble IKEA furniture without the instructions or half the pieces. They brought back 3 original cast members: Gordon Jump as station manager Arthur Carlson, Frank Bonner as sleazy ad guy Herb Tarlick, and Richard Sanders as perpetually anxious newsman Les Nessman. Not bad, right? Except here's the problem. Everyone else was MIA. Howard Hesseman's Johnny Fever? Quick cameo. Lonnie Anderson's Jennifer? Barely there. Tim Reed's Venus Flytrap? Same deal. Jan Smithers and Gary Sandy didn't show up at all. It was like reunion tour where only the backup singers showed up. The new cast was fine, I guess. We got Nancy, the perky morning host, Donovan, the serious program director, and Mona Loveland, played by Tawny Kitayan, as the sultry late-night DJ. But they had all the personality of hold music, which is ironic for a show about radio. And speaking of music, this is where things got really sad. The original show used actual hit songs, which made it feel alive and authentic. The reboot? Generic music that sounded like it came from a dentist's waiting room. Apparently, music licensing costs more than bringing back your entire original cast. The writing kept trying to recreate classic moments without understanding why they worked in the first place. They referenced the turkey drop multiple times, but it felt like your uncle retelling the same story at every Thanksgiving. Diminishing returns, folks. Here's the thing. The original WKRP balanced absurd comedy with genuine heart. You cared about these characters even when they were being idiots. The reboot felt like watching community theater actors perform someone else's high school reunion. Unsurprisingly, it limped along for 2 seasons in syndication before getting pulled in 1993. By the end, even the diehards had tuned out. Sometimes you can't go home again, especially when home is a radio station that's been sitting empty for a decade. Number 3, Fish, a spin-off of Barney Miller. Here at the 3rd spot, we have Fish, the show that asked the question nobody wanted answered. What if we took the grumpiest cop on television and made him a foster parent? Let's set the stage. Barney Miller was one of the smartest comedies of the 70s. A workplace show set in a dingy New York police precinct where the real enemy wasn't crime. It was bureaucracy, paperwork, and the slow death of the human spirit. The show trusted its audience to get dry, intelligent humor without laugh tracks telling them when to chuckle. Detective Phil Fish, played by Abe Vigoda, was the perfect supporting character. Perpetually exhausted, chronically cynical, and looking like he'd been 75 years old since birth. The man could get a laugh just by sighing at his coffee. He was comedy gold in small doses. So ABC, in their infinite wisdom, decided this man, whose entire personality was being too tired to deal with anything, should become a foster parent to a house full of energetic kids. Yeah, what could go wrong? Fish premiered in February 1977 and followed Phil and his wife Bernice as they took in troubled teens through the city's PINS program, persons in need of supervision. In TV terms, that meant a revolving door of kids who needed life lessons, hugs, and someone to tell them drugs are bad. The cast included a young Todd Bridges before Different Strokes made him famous, and John Cassisi fresh off Bugsy Malone. These kids tried their best, but they were working with material that couldn't decide if it wanted to be a gritty comedy or an after-school special. The tone was all over the map. Instead of the sharp, sardonic wit of Barney Miller, we got very special episodes about peer pressure and homework. It was like watching Oscar the Grouch suddenly open a daycare center and pretend he enjoyed it. Think about it. Fish's whole thing was being world-weary and over it. Now he's supposed to be warm, nurturing, and patient with teenagers? That's not character growth. That's character assassination. Behind the scenes, things got messy fast. During Season 2, Vigoda got into a salary dispute and missed several episodes. According to Todd Bridges, when Vigoda asked for more money for Season 3, the network basically said, "No thanks," and cancelled the show. No finale, no closure, just gone. But wait, there's a footnote. 3 years later, Fish showed up on Barney Miller one last time in an episode called Lady and the Bomb. We learned the Pins program had shut down, one of the kids got pregnant, another got arrested, and Fish was retired after 38 years, doing what he could from the sidelines. That was it. Roll credits on a character who deserved better. Fish lasted 35 episodes, and while the intentions were good, the execution was all wrong. You can't take a character built for cynical one-liners and force them into heartwarming family sitcom territory. It's like casting Gordon Ramsay in Full House. It just doesn't compute. If you're enjoying this journey through television's Hall of Shame, do us a favor and hit that like button. Drop a comment telling us which spin-off hurt your soul the most. And subscribe because we've got way more nostalgic train wrecks coming your way. Number 2, Galactica 1980, a spin-off of Battlestar Galactica. We're down to our final 2, and at number 2 we have Galactica 1980. The show that proves you should be careful what you wish for, because you might get it with a kids' chorus and a budget of $12. Think back to when Battlestar Galactica got cancelled after 1 season and fans absolutely lost their minds. They wrote letters, they protested, they begged ABC to bring it back, and ABC listened. Sort of. What they delivered was like getting a birthday present from someone who clearly forgot it was your birthday and grabbed whatever was in their garage. The original Battlestar Galactica debuted in 1978, riding that sweet, sweet Star Wars hype. It was ambitious, maybe too ambitious. Epic space battles, massive special effects, a sprawling story about humanity's last survivors fleeing robot genocide. ABC loved the ratings but hated the price tag, reportedly over $1 million per episode. So they cancelled it after 1 season. Fast forward to 1980, ABC greenlit a sequel series and fans were pumped. Finally, they'd get to see what happened next in the saga of the last surviving humans searching for Earth. What they got instead was flying motorcycles, time travel to World War II, and space kids teaching Earth children about science. I'm not making this up. Galactica 1980 picked up 30 years after the original, except it looked like it was made 30 years earlier. The budget was slashed so hard they couldn't afford actual space battles anymore. Instead, we got earthbound adventures that felt like a bootleg A-Team episode set in a planetarium. Lorne Greene returned as Commander Adama, but instead of being a battle-hardened military leader, he spent most episodes looking like a disappointed grandfather watching his grandkids fight over the TV remote. And Dirk Benedict Starbuck, missing in action until the very last episode. Fans had to suffer through 9 episodes of bargain bin sci-fi before their favorite character finally showed up. The new heroes were Captain Troy, previously known as Boxy, Apollo's adopted son, and his partner Dylan. They were sent to Earth to help humans prepare for a possible Cylon attack, which apparently involved teaching science classes, preventing historical disasters, and dealing with a suspicious reporter named Jamie Hamilton. Kent McCord and Barry Van Dyke did their best, but even their solid performances couldn't save this mess. The real problem? ABC wanted to appeal to kids, so they crammed the show full of child characters called the Super Scouts. It was basically the Brady Bunch in space, complete with wholesome life lessons and zero edge. ABC scheduled it for 7 p.m. on Sundays, Family Hour, which meant no violence, minimal action, and absolutely no shooting Cylons. Standards and practices got so restrictive they banned scenes where trees exploded. The writers were so handcuffed they had to resort to educational content, like teaching aliens about baseball using laser technology. Behind the scenes, it was chaos. Scripts got rewritten constantly. Characters appeared and disappeared without explanation. The show burned through producers faster than the Galactica burned through fuel. At one point, the writing staff joked they'd finally get cancelled if ratings hit 13. By episode 10, they got their wish. The only saving grace was the final episode, The Return of Starbuck, which brought Dirk Benedict back for an actually emotional, well-written story. It was easily the best episode of the series, but by then the damage was done. If the original Battlestar Galactica was too ambitious for network television, Galactica 1980 was what happened when that ambition got strangled by budget cuts, censorship, and executives who thought kids wanted to see space people learn about American history. It was the Spinoff fans begged for and immediately regretted. Number 1. Three's a Crowd, a spin-off of Three's Company. And here we are at number 1. The spin-off that took one of the most successful sitcom formulas ever created and said, you know what this needs? Absolutely nothing of what made it work. Three's Company was 8 seasons of perfectly orchestrated chaos.
You enjoy being here? You mean with you? No, I mean in this apartment.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's good. You don't mind if I'm a little nosy, do you?
Well, we're getting used to it.
John Ritter's Jack Tripper spent almost a decade stumbling through misunderstandings, double entendres, and physical comedy that would make Buster Keaton jealous. The formula was simple but brilliant. One guy, 2 female roommates, suspicious landlords, and enough mistaken identity to fuel 1,000 episodes. When the show ended in 1984, ABC had a golden goose in John Ritter. The man was a comedic genius, beloved by audiences, and could make you laugh just by walking across a room.
Bugs, they love this stuff. Anyway, what do you want me to do? What did I say?
Oh, nothing. It was a mosquito.
Oh.
Hey, Janet.
Look, a caterpillar!
Obviously, they wanted to keep him on TV. Less obviously, they decided to do it by removing literally everything that made Three's Company successful. Three's a Crowd picked up where Three's Company left off. In the finale, Jack moved in with his girlfriend Vicky, a flight attendant played by Mary Caderet. Now they're living together in a nice apartment above Jack's bistro, which he owns because apparently Jack Tripper grew up off-screen. On paper, this sounds like character development. Jack went from culinary student to restaurant owner, from ladies' man to committed boyfriend. Progress, right? Except Three's Company was never about growth. It was about Jack being a charming disaster who couldn't open a door without causing an international incident. Three's a Crowd tried to have it both ways. They wanted Jack to be mature and responsible while also being the same lovable goofball from the original show. That's like asking a puppy to file your taxes. Adorable, but completely wrong for the job. The main antagonist was Vicky's dad, E.Z. Taylor, played by Robert Mandan, a wealthy, stuffy businessman who thought Jack was an immature man-child unworthy of his daughter. Classic sitcom setup, right? Disapproving father-in-law, scrappy underdog trying to win him over, except it just made Jack look pathetic instead of endearing. In Three's Company, Jack's immaturity was charming because he was surrounded by equally chaotic people and ridiculous situations. Here, it just made you wonder why Vicky was dating someone her dad was right to be concerned about. All the built-in comedy of the original show was gone. No more pretending to be gay to fool the landlord. No more wacky misunderstandings with roommates. No more Mr. Furley in his bizarre leisure suits making everything weirder. Jack and Vicky were just a regular couple, which meant the writers had to manufacture conflict from nothing. Most episodes devolved into petty arguments or EZ's latest scheme to break them up. John Ritter still gave it everything he had. His physical comedy was still flawless, his timing was impeccable. But Jack Tripper was built to thrive in ensemble chaos. Without the roommates, the landlords, or the constant misunderstandings, he felt like a sports car stuck in a parking lot. Impressive, but going nowhere. Mary Caderet was fine as Vicky, but she didn't have the spark that Suzanne Summers or Joyce DeWitt brought. And Robert Mandan's EZ was basically a boring version of Mr. Roper or Mr. Furley, except without the innuendo or the memorable fashion disasters. Critics savaged it. Viewers checked out fast. The show's idea of sexual tension felt less like flirty banter and more like watching two people navigate an HR seminar on workplace relationships. It was painful. After 1 season and 22 episodes, Three's a Crowd vanished. No finale, no send-off, just a quiet cancellation that took Jack Tripper off television for good. This show is a masterclass in how not to do a spin-off. They took a beloved character, stripped away his entire support system, changed what made him work, and expected audiences to show up out of loyalty alone. Instead of letting Jack grow gracefully, Three's a Crowd proved that some characters are perfect exactly where they are, and sometimes the best sequel is no sequel at all. And that's our countdown, 5 spin-offs that crashed harder than your dad's attempt to use TikTok. Which one made you cringe the most? Which one did you completely forget existed until just now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this nostalgic trip through TV's biggest misfires, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got plenty more deep dives into the shows you loved, the shows you hated, and the shows that made you question why anyone greenlit them in the first place. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next one.